Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the severe weather for the next 2 days for parts of the Northeast and the Southeast, also the Mid-Atlantic, and then we will be talking about the tropical development that is happening near the Bahamas and in southern Florida. I will put timestamps down in the description of when I start the tropical development, because if you're not in the threat of the severe weather or don't want to watch it, you can just skip to it. I'll put the time down in the description of when I start the tropical development if you do want to skip to that. But I really would appreciate if you do watch the whole video so you do get all the information you do need. Alright, so we're going to start with the severe weather because this is happening today and this is our worst threat. This is probably the biggest threat out of all of them. But you can see we do have a slight risk today across parts of very northern Virginia, also into near D.C., Maryland. Also, as we move into Delaware, New Jersey, parts of southeastern Pennsylvania, also moving into New York City, and also as we move into Connecticut. Alright, so that's where we're seeing our slight risk in the Northeast. We also do have a slight risk across parts of central Tennessee, so this is where we're going to be getting those scattered thunderstorms. So in these other areas, we're going to have big bands of just rain and not as severe. That's in the marginal risk, so that's not where we're expecting it to be as bad. But as you can see, that slight risk is in both of these areas, so this is where you'll see those maybe more scattered, or maybe you have the sun out a little bit more to warm up your atmosphere, make it a little bit more unstable. But then you have higher Cape values, of course, also, especially in the northern part of the slight risk. This is where I think we'll see the worst of them. That's where our highest Cape values are out of both of these areas. But then we do have the marginal risk across parts of central Colorado, also into parts of Wyoming and northern New Mexico, also southern Arizona. We're seeing that. So that's where we're seeing that today. So we're going to go on to tomorrow, and then we'll go on to tropical divots, and I'll show you. But you can see today wind is our highest threat. Hail and tornadoes are not our biggest threat. We don't expect to see much hail at all in the eastern United States, and the wind is just our biggest threat. So tornadoes, only a 2% chance around New York City. That's where we're expecting, if we saw it at all. That's what we're expecting. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move on to your day 2 outlook, and we're going to go ahead and look at this. So you can see tomorrow we only have a marginal risk. I do expect us to see maybe a slight risk in this part of this. I think the marginal risk could expand too. That's just how it usually goes. But if we don't, right now we do see the marginal risk across parts of South Carolina into eastern North Carolina, across the Outer Banks. Also, maybe really close to Virginia Beach and parts like that. So that's where we'll be seeing that tomorrow. Alright, we're going to move on to the NAM 3KM. So this is really behind on its timing. This says it's going to be later today. This is about what it's looking like right now. So it's a little bit behind, but this is what we're seeing about now. You can see we do have this front along this area. We do have a cold front along this area, and we're expecting somewhere like that, and we do have this tropical development that's happening down there, and we're expecting it to graze the Florida coast, and then once this cold front moves east, we're going to be seeing it pick up this tropical development or wave, and it'll take it out to sea. So really, that's why this tropical development isn't looking too bad. But right now, we're going to look at the severe weather. So you can see where we're expecting that severe weather. We're not really seeing it right now, the worst of it at least, and that slight risk. Central Tennessee, we're really not seeing anything yet. Also, across parts of that slight risk, across the Northeast, we're not seeing anything. But in these marginal risk areas, we're starting to see maybe just that rain, not as bad thunderstorms as that they will get in the slight risk. But you can see how this afternoon they develop as we get into that daytime heating. So really, it's all about timing today. So in this slight risk, that's this afternoon. So they just have the exact timing to where they'll see the worst of the storms in those areas. So that's what we're seeing there. So this is this afternoon, later this afternoon. It already is afternoon, but later. And you can see that that daytime heating really does kick in and brings a lot of storms across both of these areas and the slight risk, especially parts of the northeast. That's where we're seeing it the worst. But you can see we do get one wave, then our second wave to come through, which will be the worst, especially across the Carolinas. Also southern Virginia. You can see where that cold front is. Definitely you can see where it's set up somewhere along that line, because after that there's no moisture. So you can see that, and then after that we get a major cool down by your Wednesday. Tomorrow we're already going to be cooled down across a lot of areas, but as you move east into parts of eastern North Carolina, South Carolina, across a lot of the East Coast, we're going to be cooling down a lot, especially by Wednesday. So once that's done, it's out of here for a while. But you can see now we're going to go ahead and move on to the potential tropical development. Not expected to do much. Possibly it could become a tropical depression, but not very likely, because you can already see it's right here. It's right here on the Bahamas. So as you can see right here on the advisory, it's saying we have a 60% chance of development. It is expected to move northwestward around 15 miles per hour today, and northwestward to northward tonight and Tuesday, remaining offshore of the east coast of the Florida Peninsula. This system will continue to produce locally heavy rain and gusty winds over portions of the northwest Bahamas through tonight. Showers and thunderstorms could also spread over portions of the east coast of the Florida Peninsula tonight and Tuesday. So pretty much the eastern coast of Florida is going to be affected the most from tonight into Tuesday, and it'll be moving off with that cold front. It's by late Tuesday, mid-Tuesday, it'll be moving off with the cold front off to sea, and we really won't have to worry about it anymore. The only thing we're worried about is if it does do this and it stays a little bit closer to the coast and goes. So it could affect a little bit more areas if it does not move as quick with the cold front. So we are going to have to see, but right now we're just expecting it to do something like this and move off pretty quickly as the approaching cold front pushes it forwards. Alright, so that's what we're seeing there. But we are going to go ahead and look at windy.com. You can see how it has developed over the past 12 hours. You can see, we'll take a look at it if we go to this. You can see how it has been moving pretty quickly too. But you can see how it has developed. Yesterday we were saying maybe 20-10% chance, but now it's really moved pretty good. It's developed a little bit better, and it's moved pretty fast and a pretty good rate northwest. So it'll be to the East Florida coast by tonight and also Tuesday and by tomorrow, and then it'll move out. So that's what we're seeing there. You can see right now we're not seeing much across the east coast of Florida, just some thunderstorms, but that will change as we move through tonight and tomorrow. Alright, so you can see tonight it starts to move in. Now on the European model it is not as bad, but you can see it does start to move in, and we do get some rain across Florida by tomorrow. You can see we have a lot of rain across Florida, but then by tomorrow it's already going to start moving out. So really all we're seeing with this, the cold front is going to be doing most of it. So really the tropical development will be adding a little bit of moisture, moisture to the cold front. So really the cold front will be the one that's doing the most in this. But if we look at the rain accumulation for Florida in the next 3 days, maybe upwards of ½ an inch to an inch, so really not much. Across all these areas where we're seeing the severe weather, we're seeing more. Across the Appalachian Mountains, we're seeing more rain. Okay, but we are going to go ahead and take a look at the GFS model really quick, and I will show you a different model point of view. You can see this has it along the Florida coast by tonight, pretty sure, by tomorrow, late tonight and tomorrow. And you can see the cold front really does do most of it. You can see the approaching cold front along this area. So you can already see the approaching cold front is moving and it's catching up with the tropical system. So really, it just adds moisture once again to the cold front, and it won't be doing much to Florida. So really, Florida, you're not getting hit that bad, even though you do have a tropical wave coming your way on the east coast. So really, we will have to see if it does develop a little bit more, and if the models will change its mind a little bit, but for now, it's not looking that bad, and it's looking like it'll move off pretty quickly and won't do many problems to Florida, because that's the only area it would be doing problems to. Maybe some rough surf across Georgia and, of course, the east coast of Florida, but after that, really nothing we're seeing that bad in weather-wise across the southeast and a lot of the east for a while. We do get the scattered storms to come back as we get that heat to come back as we move into later this week, also into next week. But for now, it's not looking too bad. Alright guys, I hope y'all did enjoy this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. And we will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.